What is going on, everybody? We are back to continue last week's episode.
Yeah, but first we need to address the elephant in the room because several people came up to me and said, "What happened with Ponji? Is he okay?"
So, if you saw the last video, it ended abruptly. And basically, what I don't know what happened. We were sitting here, we were having a conversation, and all of a sudden, I felt pressure in my head, and tunnel vision started happening. And that's when you see me kind of move quick and then walk away. And then I walked out the door and I kind of lost my balance. I didn't fall, but lost my balance. It didn't register with Derek right at first what was going on.
No, I sat here confused and looking stupid. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks.
Anytime. So I'm fine. Got checked out. Everything's good. A lot of you don't know I do have a heart condition. I had a previous heart attack. What is it, about a couple months ago now?
Yeah.
2 or 3 months ago. So it was kind of a concern. So we ended the session right after that happened. We went outside. I had a juice, had a water. Started getting better, and I haven't had an episode since.
Yeah, that's good.
So everything's good. I'm good. It's just a fluke thing of getting old.
Old and tired. You're just old and tired.
Well,
Now-
that was another one too.
Yeah.
With me, if I don't get good enough sleep, I have some episodes, and I have high stress in my life. If you don't know, like, my wife has stage 4 cancer. My son's type 1 diabetic. I have a daughter that has an autoimmune issue. So there's a lot of stress that floats around. Plus, I have my own health issues.
Yeah.
So when I don't sleep, eventually my body's like, you're done. And I think that's pretty much what had happened.
Plus, in all fairness, in the topic we were discussing, which tonight's part 2 of that same topic, we had hit just an insane point in the story. There was a huge body count amassing, people being killed left and right,
Yeah.
and you got scared. You got scared. We're not investigative journalists. I mean, we're just presenting information that's already out there, but you got scared, and I understand it's okay. It's okay to be scared.
It is. It's
all right.
okay. It's okay.
It's
So
all right.
today I'm really gonna try to brave it out
Yeah.
and continue.
Yeah.
So
Good. I applaud your courage.
see.
I know you've been looking over your shoulder for a good week now, good couple of weeks actually, because we had some time off for Father's Day, so we're playing catch up.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So-
Normally we record on Sundays, but today's not Sunday.
Yeah.
Another factor of it was the night before we recorded. We had some storms
Yeah.
rolling through, and
You watch storms. You keep an eye on them.
I love storms, and plus there's a lot of people that rely on me to make the phone call, say, get in your shelter.
Yeah. Yeah. They know you mean business.
Like Derek knows if I call during a storm, it's hitting the fan. So I was up very late doing that, and my body doesn't allow myself to sleep in. No matter how late I stay up, I'm up at 6:30 in the morning. So it's just a combination of things. All is good. I am fine. I am alive.
Good.
This is not a clone.
Good. That's good. I would freak
Oh,
out.
sorry. I
I would
glitched.
freak out thinking you had been cloned.
Oh, man. That was weird. I just glitched.
Yeah.
Maybe I am a clone.
Maybe you're scared again. We haven't even started yet.
Man, I did mention the Clintons.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So if you haven't seen part 1,
Go watch it.
go watch it.
Because you'll be confused as hell.
Yeah. But this is part 2. We're going to pick up right where we left off, before we were rudely interrupted by someone's irrational fear.
I
Just
love this guy.
just a quick recap. A couple of young men were murdered. It appears that they stumbled across a drug drop in Alexander, Arkansas. Whoop. There we go.
Speaking of rookies,
there was a drug drop that they stumbled across, and it looks like they were murdered over it. Investigation after investigation officially ruled that there was no foul play, but everything points toward foul play, and thusly points toward corrupt cops and officials.
And throughout the investigation for several years, witnesses to it started getting murdered.
Yeah.
A lot of them the same, but it's fishy. So let's dive back into this.
Yeah, and one of the people mentioned was the prosecutor at the time, Dan Harmon, and where we left off was a recap of events, and we're in roughly 1996 now, and Dan Harmon resigns in 1996. His wife was caught with cocaine from the county evidence room, and he also beat up a reporter who asked him to comment on it. The following spring, a federal grand jury indicted him and another local attorney and the head of the draft of the drug task force for racketeering, trafficking, cocaine, making meth, witness tampering, and retaliating against an informant. So if that little tidbit gives you any idea of what we're dealing with this story, and you have not seen part one, you definitely need to go back and watch part one now.
Yes. Yes.
This is the kind of story we're talking about. It's just off the rails insane. Dan got 11 years, and the grand jury investigation was funded using $8,000 of the $16,000 of Sheriff Steed's Drug Enforcement Fund. December 2nd, 1988, jump back a little bit, Troy Lee Warner, an inmate at the Saline County Detention Facility, is awaiting sentencing for drug charges. There were allegations that drugs he had been dealing on the street were obtained from the Benton Police Department. And Benton, as a reminder, is where I grew up. A federal drug informant, David Zimmerman, was also a witness at the hearing that confirmed some of this information. As a result, an internal affairs investigation was conducted at the Benton Police Department. Prior to the investigation, one of the department's detectives, Robert German, was charged with 5 criminal counts, 2 for the delivery of a controlled substance and 1 for theft of property, 2 for the possession of a controlled substance. He left the police force shortly before the internal affairs investigation began. Lieutenant Bob Holliday was suspended in July of '88, followed by a medical termination, so he didn't face any serious charges related to the drug charges. Special Deputy Prosecutor Dan Harmon then resigned from the Civil Service Commission on November 4th, 1988, immediately after a meeting with Police Chief Rick Elmendorf. So we don't know what went on in that meeting. Allegedly, Robert German released drugs from the evidence locker, gave them to an FBI informant named Teddy Carter, who was then supposed to sell the drugs in an undercover operation. March of 1990, Gene Duffy, the Saline County Deputy Prosecutor, was appointed head of the 7th Judicial District Task Force, a joint federal and tri-county probe into the epidemic of narcotics trafficking in central Arkansas. Her supervisor told her she could use her powers to investigate anyone in the state except for any public official.
Red flag.
yeah, that seems kind of fishy, doesn't it?
Very much so.
Okay, you can investigate anyone except these people right here.
If that doesn't scream guilty, I don't know what is.
Yeah. Gene Duffy began to link Dan Harmon and other public officials to illegal drug activity. The evidence she collected went to the Assistant U.S. Attorney Bob Govar, who is heading a federal grand jury investigation of public corruption in Saline County. Dan Harmon then began to launch a smear campaign against Gene Duffy.
So, in the 80s and 90s, there was so much police corruption. Mm-hmm. And not just here, everywhere.
Yeah.
In Arkansas, between this and, Madison County, Booger County with that sheriff and all the pot farms.
Yeah.
There was a lot of corruption. Even take the West Memphis 3 on how they handled that case.
Yeah.
So much corruption in the state of Arkansas in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Duffy's task force interviewed people that were living near where the boys were murdered. One investigator discovered there were rumors of drug drops in that area over the 6 months before the boys were found dead. Citizens had filed reports of low-flying aircraft over their houses in the middle of the night with the lights on. Officers would take reports for these complaints, but no investigations were ever conducted. Duffy also spoke with confessed drug dealer who testified that she participated in an officially sanctioned drug ring and had picked up cocaine that had been dropped off in the same area that the boys on the tracks were killed. November of 1990, Gene's anti-drug task force is dismantled.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
December of 1990, however, Gene took her task force evidence to U.S. Attorney Chuck Banks, who said he would continue the investigation. Banks shut down the grand jury probe of Saline County public officials, and allegedly he shut down the grand jury in exchange for a federal judgeship nomination from President George H.W. Bush.
Yep.
And that's Bush Sr. In 1991, Chuck Banks holds a press conference and publicly clears all Saline County public officials and insinuated that the grand jury had made the decision. A few of the grand jurors contacted Gene Duffy and let her know that they were ready to indict Dan Harmon, but they were sent home without even being allowed to vote.
The corruption is thick
Yeah,
on this story.
yeah.
And it's not just your standard corruption. It's so much life loss for this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that the death tolls, the serial killer number of death tolls.
Yeah, and we were touching on the fact at the end of the last episode we did shortly before you freaked out and got all paranoid and scared.
He's such a dick.
I don't know what he's talking about. I call it like it is. But we talked about how, you know, our law enforcement, you know, we depend on them. We're supposed to trust them.
Yes.
You know, and it's one thing to where, you know, if you've lived your entire life, you know, being hassled, you know, by police for one reason or another, and that does happen. But you're talking about ordinary citizens that might have seen something would be terrified to come forward because it's every level of law enforcement at this point.
Yep.
In 1994, the FBI opens up their own investigation into the boys' deaths. They interview a witness who claims they saw Dan Harmon on the tracks with Kevin and Don the night they were murdered. This witness passed a polygraph and was put into protective custody. In 1994, Gene, Linda, the FBI investigative reporters all began sharing information and made the connection between the murders and the Mena Intermountain Municipal Airport in Mena, Arkansas in Polk County. The airport focuses on private aircraft, does not have a scheduled commercial air service, and it's known worldwide as the central location where illegal drug shipments and weapon transfers were made during the Iran-Contra conspiracy during the 80s, which is the Barry Seals story. And we mentioned the film with Tom Cruise as the Barry Seals character in that movie. I'm trying to scroll down to my comments here.
So, like we said in the first video, there's a ton of stuff on YouTube, internet about this, and we encourage you, if you're interested in this story, to really look it up. And it is a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
To go down, but it is fascinating.
Yeah, and we've talked about, of course, Clinton during his presidency and role as a governor here. Prior to that, we've talked about Bush Sr. And with the Iran-Contra issue, it was Reagan. So we're going back 3 presidents worth of time here. Reagan, Bush Sr., and Clinton all faced criticism over the drug and arms smuggling, and they all stated that the use of MENA was a matter of national security.
You know, when we talked about this on the other podcast, sorry it got weird. I think I remember bringing it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably shouldn't bring this up because I don't have my facts straight. But Metallica released a song called All Nightmare Long.
You did bring that up, and I double-checked it. Double-checked it specifically for this. You go ahead and.
Well, I remember watching the video. There's subtitles that go with the video, and it mentions something about Mena, Arkansas.
Okay.
But for the life of me, I can't remember. But since then, I haven't been able to see that video.
I found a video that subtitles the lyrics, and it's not mentioned in that song.
It's not lyrics.
It's not lyrics?
It's not the lyrics that mention it.
There's an audio about Mena in it?
No. So it's their music video that they released for the song.
Okay.
And there's subtitles at the bottom. That's part of their song.
They're not lyrics that are
They're not
subtitled.
lyrics.
Okay.
It's a story that goes with the song, but they mention Mena, Arkansas. And this is back off of their Death Magnetic album, so that was 2008 maybe. So it's been a while.
Well, I know.
But that video does not have the subtitles anymore.
Really?
But I swear to God.
Yeah, when it came out.
When it came out, it was there, and it was from the Metallica
Okay.
YouTube.
If anyone knows a link to that video where it's got the original
Let us know.
subtitles, yeah, let us know in the comments. I'd like to see that.
Because I specifically remember seeing me in Arkansas, like, holy crap.
Well,
this is, of course,
yeah.
way before we even did. I mean, this has been 10-something years ago.
Yeah, and I believe it because I've seen and read and heard conversations about, Metallica having some ties to Arkansas throughout the years.
Right.
So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
And it's not in the lyrics. It's not part of the lyrics. It was, the video, if I remember correctly, is kind of cartoonish. And it was subtitles in white at the bottom, and it would flash this story. And I remember seeing it, and I remember thinking, oh, how cool. It's Mena, Arkansas. And I remember at the time wanting to research it, but I just never did. But that's always stuck in my brain. But now when I go back to look for it, I can't find it. So I don't know I don't know.
Yeah.
I can speculate all day long why it's not there. But it is not there anymore, and it was.
We'll try to do a follow-up with that aspect of it.
So,
yeah.
But like, remember the first time you mentioned that? That's where my brain went.
Yeah, you brought it up
the first time, because it's like, wait a minute, is this? I want to know if this is what they're talking about.
Yeah, it could be.
I
mean, anytime you mention Mena, Arkansas.
But listen to the lyrics. I hunt you down all night long.
Yeah.
I mean,
it could be related to this story.
So.
And remember too, the Mena connection was active at least as far back as Reagan. And I remember we discussed with the other guys, if you were alive at that time in the 80s, I mean, I was in elementary school when Reagan was president. That's when the war on drugs started. That phrase, the war on drugs. We got to keep kids off of drugs, the war on drugs.
Like the shirt I was wearing last time, Dare.
He was wearing a Dare shirt in the last
And that was
video.
a fluke.
Yeah. But, I mean, this is the same government saying, just say no.
Yes.
Yet they're dealing with drugs and guns, and it's just insane, the hypocrisy at that level. Barry Seal admitted that he would fly weapons out and bring drugs back. Once he went public, he was tried and ordered to report to a probation officer. Okay, so he's been caught. He's in trouble now legally. He has to report to a probation officer, and he's ordered to report at the same place at the same time regularly. He's also restricted from hiring a bodyguard and carrying any weapons. So guess what happens? 6 months after being sentenced, Barry Seal is gunned down, murdered. So
Think about it.
Uh-huh.
They're telling him no weapons, no bodyguards, no nothing.
Yep.
Just plain as day,
Yep.
setting him up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Wear this flashing red light around your neck and with this bullseye painted on your back.
Yes. and there's nothing you can do. Otherwise, you're in violation.
Yep, that's it.
God, this is the second time I've heard this story.
Yeah.
Well, after the first time I did a lot of research, but even hearing it again, it still shocks the hell out of me.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, for those stipulations to be made on him to where he can't protect himself in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
You know, it's almost as ludicrous as Dr. Remy Malik ruling a murder, a suicide, and saying that a small dog ate the man's head that was missing at the crime scene.
And regurgitated it up.
When the head was found in a trash can down the street, the dog must have regurgitated the head up.
Or
ridiculous, just insane.
Them smoking 20 joints.
Yeah.
If you smoke pot out there, do me a favor. This weekend, smoke 20 in a day.
Yeah.
Report back to me.
And tell us if you feel like laying down on train tracks afterward.
Yeah.
Because we don't think that's possible. In August 17th, the police officer tried to stop a man walking.
Wait, hold on.
Uh-huh.
Don't do that. I don't condone drugs.
Yeah, don't do that. We don't. Yeah, and stay away from
Disclaimer.
train tracks.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. Some of the things we say are sarcastic.
Yeah, I don't need somebody to do it and turn around and sue me.
Yeah.
That was a joke. It's comedy, people.
According to accounts, a police officer tried to stop a man walking on the road about 2 miles from where the boys were killed. The man ran from the officer the day the boys were murdered. A man fitting the same description was seen about 5 blocks from a railroad crossing that was close to the scene of the murders. Don Henry had also mentioned to one of his friends that he had been shot at one time while he was on the railroad tracks by a man in a white pickup. Now, you may remember one of the EMT or first responder that went out to the scene said that she saw a pickup truck near the scene on her way out. She didn't describe it, though.
Yep.
But Don Henry said he was shot at by a man in a white pickup. He said there was a guy that said if he caught anyone in that area, he would chase them off and possibly kill them. Jerry Campbell and Kirk Lane, the police officers that could have been involved. Lane was an undercover detective for the Narcotics Division of Pulaski County Sheriff's Office and previously had worked at the Benton Police Department. A lot of neat little connections here.
There is.
Jerry Campbell was a lieutenant with the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office, and they worked at times together and crossed over into Saline County. Witness Ronnie Godwin was interviewed on June 20th, 1988, stated on his way home on August 22nd or 23rd, roughly when the boys were murdered, he pulled over on the side of the road and observed a police car sitting in the driveway to a grocery store. He saw 2 men he believed to be the officers, and one of the men was pushing a teenage boy up against a phone booth, and another boy was either lying or kneeling on the ground. The men put the boys in the back of the car and drove away. The car returned 5 or 10 minutes later, and the boys were not in the back anymore. The witness only saw something like a garbage bag in the back seat and provided a diagram detailing the location of the individuals to one another when he saw them. The descriptions given to the police matched Kirk Lane and Jay Campbell. Another witness, a lady named Sandy Duncan, confirmed seeing the police at the grocery store at around 4 a.m. on the same day. February 21st of 1990, Mike Crook, another witness, gave a statement for the morning the boys' bodies were found. Someone he knew as Jerry told him that he was sitting across from the grocery store and saw 2 boys walk up to the store. A third boy rode up on a motorcycle. Now, you may recall there are a couple of the witnesses that were taken out that had motorcycles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I don't know if that was one of them or matched the description of one of them, but it's kind of interesting. The 3 of the boys were smoking a joint, and then the boy on the motorcycle rode off. An unmarked police car drove up, and 2 officers in plain clothes got out. One of them was Kirk Lane, according to this statement. The other, the witness didn't know, but he said was a large man. The boys and the officers got into an argument, and the officers beat them and put them in the back of the car. Okay, so we've got a handful of eyewitnesses seeing principal players here at this same grocery store crazy early in that morning. And we kind of laughed when we talked about this previously, saying there's a lot of people up that early in the morning at this grocery store. And there is. And I wouldn't put any weight or stock on any one eyewitness account. People have faulty memories, and they see and remember things incorrectly. But when you have this many, you can kind of triangulate probably what happened, because people are seeing very similar things here.
Right.
So I think the essence of what we get from these reports is what happened. But I don't think any one of these reports is probably 100% accurate. It just wouldn't hold up.
No, and everybody's memory is different and serves different,
Yeah.
And that's with any story of anything. I mean, you can take me and you.
Yeah.
We got in a wreck together.
Yeah.
Your memory is going to be slightly different than mine, vice versa.
Yeah.
But no doubt there's major connection. And it goes from, the prosecutors, the sheriffs, the police department, the undertaker.
Yeah.
There's so many people involved on so many different levels, which is incredible to me that everybody is working that good together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got the death toll.
Yeah.
That just kept rising and rising.
Yeah.
Surrounded by these two boys.
Yeah. And if things couldn't get any crazier, things get crazier. In fact, a friend of mine from college, Kevin, chimed in and messaged me and said, "Hey, are you going to talk about this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we're not to this part yet, but Kevin, this is for you." January of 2018. Okay. Billy Jack Haynes, former professional wrestler, stated that
I forgot all about this.
That at one time he had a side hustle transporting and trafficking cocaine across the country. He claims that Barry Seal introduced him to a corrupt Arkansas politician in the 1980s. I don't know. Don't know who that could be.
I think it's somebody that signs bills.
I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea who that could be. But anyway, he says this.
Wait, one more time. We like our life.
Yeah, we do. Sure we do.
We love our life.
I'm happy. I'm glad to be alive.
Yes.
Billy Jack Haynes claims that this politician hired him as muscle. And he claims he was a contracted enforcer who was there to kill 2 Arkansas State police officers who were stealing drugs. Okay? So he was at the drop site with Sheriff Steed, and the drop landed. He said it was a clean drop and no one stole anything, so he didn't have to kill anyone. But he claims they got to the tracks and saw kids who had witnessed the drop. He said the kids ran, they were chased down, they were beaten with flashlights by cops on the scene, and then they were placed on the tracks. He claims he helped put the kids on the tracks, and they were covered with a tarp. Now, as a side note, Haynes was arrested early in 2024 for killing his 85-year-old wife.
That's just 2 years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. In fact, when we first discussed this, it was that same year. It was later in the year.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Absolutely.
So we've kind of gone back and forth and speculated on why he would come forward and say all these things if he wasn't involved. Maybe if he wasn't involved, maybe to get fame, maybe to get in the spotlight. But, who knows?
Maybe his conscience got to him and...
Could be. And that's what he claimed. He claimed he wanted to bring closure to the story and to the families, and said they deserve to know and the kids deserve to have the truth out there, which is a noble sentiment if true.
Well, not only the kids, I forget which one it is, but one of the moms, she fought this till she died.
Yeah. One of the mothers passed away, and she was constantly trying to get the truth.
Do we know where these kids are buried?
I don't, but I bet it can be found.
I bet whenever we do plan on going down there
Yes.
at some point, making a day trip down there, and I would like to find their graves and even the mother's grave, because bless her heart, dude, she spent literally her entire life trying to prove that they were murdered and to find the murderers.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, she ran out of time, and I don't know if there's anybody to current day openly still investigating other than like people like us discussing it.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be the person, but
yeah. Well, I mean, you nearly, passed out just hearing about it. So, well, we're not going to put you in a car and call you detective anytime soon. I'll tell you that.
It's funny you say that though. Because I do have a blood phobia. If I see blood, I pass out.
Yeah.
I've been like that ever since I was in the single digits of life.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Now it has gotten a lot better. With my wife having cancer, there is some bloody scenes involved.
Yeah.
And I've gotten better. I don't necessarily pass out, but I'm not that scared, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, if you're involved with anything related to Mina and you wanna throw your weight around, just show them a picture of some blood. It's not going to take much to throw this guy off the trail. Let me put it this way: he's not a bloodhound. Far from it.
This guy's a dick.
He and I will never be blood brothers.
What a dick.
Which hurts me deeply. But
oh, jeez.
Here's an interesting fact.
You've already spouted enough out, wise ass.
The situation with the boys on the tracks is eerily similar to a case that happened 3 years earlier in 1984 and 200 miles away in Ogden, Oklahoma. Billy Heinlein and Dennis Deckler had been hit by a train after being spotted on the tracks in positions almost identical to those of Kevin and Don's. Also, an illegal meth lab was later found less than 2 miles away, but no connection to the lab and the murders was ever made, and the case was closed. Sounds like history repeating itself. Just to recap, especially if you don't recall the events of the last discussion we had, the players here: Dan Harmon, prosecutor; Richard Garrett, deputy prosecutor; Jim Steed, sheriff; Jay Campbell, Pulaski County Sheriff's deputy; Kirk Lane, Pulaski County Sheriff's deputy; Danny Allen, an officer; Larry Rochelle, who someone was said to have been at the tracks, and other players mentioned are Bill Clinton, Michael Fitzhugh, U.S. Attorney; Floyd Hayes, FBI agent; John Cole, Judge of Saline County; Rick Elmendorf, former Saline County head investigator under Jim Steed; Don Birdsong, state police liaison to Governor Clinton; Fahmy Malik, former Arkansas state medical examiner; and even Jocelyn Elders has been mentioned in this story, former Arkansas state health department director. One quote from, the Clinton Chronicles, they state that John Brown, former Saline County criminal investigator, said, "The fact is, we know who killed these kids." Pat Matriciana of Citizens for Honest Government is being sued by the Pulaski County Sheriff's deputies Jay Campbell and Kirk Lane, the two officers who are alleged at participating in the Ives Henry deaths and seen by more than one witness at the tracks, at least 3 or 4, probably more. They state that the Clinton Chronicles video wrongly accused them, and John Brown, who was a proponent and requested copies and distributed them, eventually switched sides and said that he didn't believe the Clinton Chronicles information was accurate.
I don't know if we've discussed this.
Mm-hmm.
Does the John Brown have anything to do with the John Brown University?
I don't think so.
Now,
I don't know.
I may that be outlandish, but just my mind went there.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Nothing I've seen in any of these articles tie him to that.
Okay.
And I would think it would be mentioned,
That's kind of a big thing, so I just wanted to check.
I could be wrong, but I don't think he's related to that at all.
Okay. Carry on.
Let's see.
Too much pause time. How you guys doing?
No.
You still hanging with us? I hope so.
I think that's it. It was just kind of a summary of the people involved.
What you heard the list, and the list is, and that's not even the murder victims.
Right.
That's just the people involved to carry this story to hide it.
Yeah. The ones involved that worked on the cover-up.
Surely a lot of them are dead now.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I mean, and just word to the wise to anybody out there that gets interested in this particular case. If you want to go out and do some digging and try to do some investigative journalism and find something related to it that hasn't been brought to light, more power to you. Anyone that's ever done that has been murdered or hurt. Witnesses, of course, were murdered for the most part, or put away and silenced. The few witnesses that have come forward that are still alive were put into witness protection. So, we don't have a problem talking about this case. One, because it affected me to a small degree because it happened where I was growing up. But we're not investigative journalists. There's not a single thing new that we've discussed here.
Everything that we have discussed about, primarily you.
Yeah.
Primarily you.
Right. How's your air? Don't pass out. You feeling all right?
It is out there. I mean, this is no new information. I think I can speak for both of us is we're not going to go nosing around for new information or anything.
Right.
Do we want justice for those boys? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are we going to be the ones to bring it? No.
Honestly, I think if there was anything left that was out there that was left to be uncovered, was buried even deeper.
Oh, guaranteed.
Because as insane as these facts are, anything that was uncovered, it's just one screw up after another.
No, but just to twist things a little bit. Can you imagine being involved in this, being one of the ones that you listed, and thinking, "Son of a bitch, we got to take another one out."
Yeah.
And then another one. Damn it! Now what? It couldn't have been that easy mentally for them to be like, just kill them.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was. I don't know. But just to
think
go
it
over
was.
it and over it, be like,
I think it was. I think this kind of thing, honestly, given the region that we're in, there's connections to what's famously known as the Dixie Mafia, which is discussed in that book about the sheriff you mentioned.
yes.
And there are people out there who have explicitly stated that they fear the Dixie Mafia more than the Italian Mafia because the Italian Mafia has a code. The
Dixie Mafia has nothing.
They will kill you for looking at them incorrectly. I mean, it's that simple. They don't have to have a reason. They don't have to have permission. They do what they want, for their cause. So I think the people running the show just sent word to one or two people and said, this person needs to go now. And it happened. And I think it was as easy as that. There may have been some closer members to the organizations there of law enforcement that got their hands dirty from time to time. But I tend to believe most of that happened at the tracks. And I think anything extended, people being chased down and taken care of, was more than likely, an extension of that. Probably not as closely related to the law enforcement there. But I could be wrong on some of that. But I'm inclined to think that they people like that tend to get other people to do their dirty work for them if they can.
Well, that's true. That's very true. And unfortunately, there's too many people out there that is willing to do it for some sort of a price.
Yeah. And honestly,
protection.
And like I said, if there was anything that hasn't been uncovered at this point, I think it's buried deeper than anything else in this state. It would take it would take someone on the inside changing sides and coming forward and saying, here's what happened, I was a part of it, and here you go. I don't think there's any other way any new information is going to come out on this case. I think too much has been buried and too many people have been buried.
Yes.
So.
You know, it's real hard to take you serious when I look at you and I see Gary Busey.
Oh, yeah, right over there on the wall.
Right there,
yeah.
right next to you, doing that face.
Yeah.
I'll enclose a picture of what I'm seeing. It's pretty funny.
Well, when the tunnel vision sets in and you start fearing for your life again, just look at Gary Busey and everything will be okay. Everything's always okay with Gary Busey.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
So this, I think maybe our next one we should, since we've mentioned it many times, is the Ralph Baker, the other case with the When Money Grew on Trees case.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that to tie into this one.
Yeah, and I know you've read that book. I haven't read the book. I've read excerpts and things.
All right, guys. We did have an outro, but the camera cut out. So thanks for joining us on this 2-part series. If you haven't watched the first one, go watch it. Appreciate all the support. Until next time, we'll see you guys later. Peace out.